But I don't know what the fuck I be feeling like anxiety and shit right now. Um, this is the first episode of this podcast, and my name is Love Lux. Nice to meet you. I'm a music lover and creator. I also am a gym head, gym rat. Okay, proudly. I don't care, bro. I love it. I love pain. Maybe a sadist. Nah, I'm just playing with y'all. But yo, look, let me mute this shit. Hold on, because it's kind of bugging me out here in double. But yeah, bro, I don't know what this podcast is about to be called. Um, but I just know that if I'm gonna start a podcast, I really want to get into why the whys of why I'm starting a podcast, and I got some notes here, so please forgive me if I'm looking down and things like that. Oh, I just ate the mic. Pause. Today, I want to speak about my goal with this podcast, and basically what I wrote down here, kind of half-assed it, so it's not gonna fully encompass everything that I'm about to talk about when I get onto these weekly podcasts. But to assist others by being a voice out of the masses. Look, me, I'm a voice out of the masses, brother. You know, people be like, yo, why you starting? I know some people are probably thinking, why you starting a podcast, bro? I'm a normal ass nigga. If anything, I'm subnormal. If anything, I'm abnormal type of nigga, brother. Uh, so so yeah, don't see me as some sort of guru. We're not starting a cult over here. We're not starting no type of movement. None of that, bro. I'm just talking about what's important to me. And if you guys rock with it, then you guys rock with it. So to assist others by being voiced out of the masses, that is authentic and has no influence based on politics, social expectations, or correct wording or education. So a lot of people that know me personally know that I never went to post secondary school. Okay, so I'm not like super educated, bro. I'm running off of high school grammar and shit like that, bro. So you know what I mean? We not professionals, man. Like we professionals, but we not professionally educated. So don't if you coming over here looking for, oh, this is a high class black male, nah, bro, you looking at the wrong nigga right now. But I do have other things to offer, which is creativity, and this is another way that I can express my creativity, right, by getting on a podcast and talking to people. And also, I feel like this is gonna be another step for me to put myself out there, put myself out there more, and really give other people the chance to get to know me. A lot of people who do half-ass know me, see me around and shit like that at church or um, just around the city. They notice that I'm a very calm, collected character when I'm around, especially people I half-ass know. I don't know you, and you're not really gonna get very far into getting to know me. You're not gonna get the full spill, but I feel like I can do this if I put myself on a podcast, and then people who care about it or people who can relate to my come up or can relate to what I'm talking about, they'll have a better chance at getting to know my character and what I define as myself. I also just want to allow people to connect on subjects that are seen as taboo or outdated. And here's what I mean. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to be 100% authentic, right? So if I'm trying to be authentic, you know what I mean? Some of the shit that comes out of my mouth, hey, bro, a lot of people are not gonna not gonna want to associate with me. They're not gonna want to hire me. They're not gonna want to have me around them. And I already accept all of these things, right? That's the first step to being a man. Not really caring about who the hell hears what you're saying, sees what you're doing, judges how you live life. Um, and taking that personally. We never take anything personally over here. It might hurt. I might be like, damn, bro, you my day one and you switched. I might be like, I had that happen to me a couple of times and I'm healing, brother. So I'm used to it kind of at this point. People just burning it out as soon as they hear something come out your mouth that's not robotic. But anyways, yeah, that's on that point. And I also want to provide understanding to the viewers. Hold on, I gotta stand up. They got automatic lights in this classroom. I'm at a local college. Let me do a couple of spins out this bitch, brother. What the fuck? Okay, there we go. I had to take airtime. Anyways, allow people to connect on subjects that are seen as okay. I already went through that. Provide understanding to the viewers of the experience of a young man. Now, look, I am a young ass rich nigga ass. No, I'm joking, bro. But I'm a young rich nigga. Nah, okay. Double cap, bro. Okay, anyways, yo. Yeah, but yo, I'm a young man, young black man to be specific. Even though I don't identify as my color or my body or any of that shit, brother. I'm actually a they them. No, I'm capping, bro. Chill, okay, chill. Anyways, um, yeah, I'm a young man, bro, and shit's hard. Shit gets hard. Shit gets easy. People, uh, people overlook you. People don't care. It's hard out here, bro. You know what I mean? Being a young man, being a young black man, being a young intellectual. Now, not in the sense of education. I mean, as a young intellectual, as in I have intellect. Like, bro, I know what y'all doing. I know how y'all seeing me and shit like that. So, yeah, bro, just I want to connect, especially with other young black men, about what they're going through globally. Now, I don't where I'm from right now. I'm about to get into that. But I know that I'm not the only person out here that's going through these crazy times, with these crazy expectations from crazy people, and not to stigmatize people who are going through psychosis. Not to stigmatize people, but it's like I know, like, yo, a lot of people, they just like they come to you sideways and they expect you to just eat it, like, but we not eating any of that today. You know what I mean? We not taking any of this stuff, like, and what I came to the conclusion as a man, as a young man, is that I really need to be able to just stand on what the fuck I stand on, even if everybody leaves me on a hill to die alone. You know, like Jesus Christ himself. But yeah, thank Jesus, thank God that I'm still here type stuff. Because, bro, there's a lot of days where it's like, bro, I ain't got nobody. But we ain't. It's not I don't got nobody. Let me correct myself. I got myself. You know what I mean? But nobody has myself better than I have myself. And then so let me actually get into that. So as a young man, I feel like we all had the responsibility given to us to be fully self-competent out the womb, as well as competent enough to be a person in society who is seen as helpful, who's giving, who's caring, who's loving, who's overbearing of responsibility, as well as never given any type of recognition, never given any type of appreciation. And we might receive appreciation, but it's a small amount compared to the amount that would be expected out of an individual who is going through not the toughest time in their life, but more as an individual who's really, really hell-bent on trying to build something for themselves, really hell-bent on trying to make a name for themselves, to leave a legacy behind. You know, that's just what being young kind of feels like. It's like, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, what am I gonna do to prove to the world? Not because I want to prove to the world, but there's literally a survival necessity. I don't know if I said that word right, but there's a survival. It's a survival tactic for a lot of young men to be like, I'm this, accept me. I'm getting better at this, accept me. You know, I'm going to be better in the future, accept me. I'm going to be able to largely benefit the people around me in the future, or I'm currently a large benefit to people around me, you know. And that pressure to always perform to our highest ability, with all of our energy, kind of turns into a mechanism that society uses to manipulate us into doing their bidding, right? Old people, our parents, our siblings, our friends, our distant family members, even strangers, your boss at the workplace, all of these things. It's like people always expect you to perform at your highest level, and that's just how I feel about being a young man in society, and I can get into that. We're probably gonna get into that because I have a lot of things to say about that, and I'm not complaining because I fully accept my burden. You know what I mean? Because there's no other way really as a young man. Um, and so I want to start off this podcast with a life story and really get into who is talking to you, who you looking at right now. So my name's LUV LUX. I already told you I love music. I already told you that yeah, I love music. I love going to the gym. I love working hard. I work in the construction industry as of this moment. I also make beats. I record my own songs. I learn how to master them. I learn how to mix them. I'm not that good at it, but I'm better than I used to be. So hey, hey, hey. Okay, let me just focus up. I'm a drug addict. No, I'm joking, but I'm really like, hey, okay, yo, let's just get into it. I'm not a drug addict. I'm a drug user, and not hard drugs, brother. We stay on the weed and we stay off the weed too. I sip, but whatever. I just wanted to clear that up. Um, so I was born in 2001 in a city in Canada called Calgary, Alberta. So Calgary, Alberta, from what I remember, because I moved from there when I was pretty young to here, and I'm about to get into that. But Calgary, Alberta, from what I remember, is really just like it's a very, very bright city. It's a prairie province. I have a lot of great memories, a lot of bad memories. We gonna get into that, but I have a lot of great memories of that city. Things like the Stampede, going to Callaway Park. The Stampede is like, hey, bro, it's a stampede, bro. The people riding bulls, brother, people on horses, you know what I mean? Like everybody in cowboy hats, cowboy boots, like, stampede breakfast early in the morning. You wake up, you go get some free pancakes, you get the free sausages, bro. Oh, it's deadly, man. You pour syrup all over that thing too. Like, yo, bro, we was out there tweaking, man. Even when I was a youngin', bro, you waking up the family like, yo, let's get it, bro. It's Stampede Day, bro. We gotta hit that parade. We gotta do all of this. But yeah, my upbringing, I was born in the hood type shit. I was born in a hospital called Brockview Hospital, but um, to my mother and father and my mom, she's from Ethiopia, but she's not Ethiopian. Like she's Ethiopian, you ask her, she Ethiopian, but it's more like the family. Her parents immigrated from South Sudan, so I'm South Sudanese. Her parents immigrated from South Sudan to Ethiopia because of the war that was going on back then, bro. We not even gonna get into that this episode, but um, and my father, who's also from South Sudan. Yeah, Juba. I think it's Juba or no Nasser, bro. I ain't fucking know that nigga. Hey, another fatherless nigga out here. But anyways, but I'm not fatherless. I'm my own father anyway. So yeah. What else? What else I was gonna talk? Okay, so the social economic status. So basically, I was born to low income family. They're immigrants. Like what more do you expect, right? People come to this country, they don't come loaded. Well, at least most people who are immigrants, they don't come loaded. They don't come with like $1 million in their back pocket, but they did come with a child, and that child, her name is. Well, I'm not gonna get my older sister's name, but my older sister, she was born in Ethiopia. You know what I mean? So they immigrated here with my cousin and my auntie, my mom and my dad. Um, and they came here with my other. I have two other. I have an uncle and another auntie, but I don't really talk to them. But my cousin and my auntie, the blood ones, I still talk to them. Yeah, they immigrated here. They came to Calgary, Alberta, and they're not English speakers. They were trying to learn the language and things like that. And I remember even from a young point in my childhood when living in the hood or living in High River where we moved because I think it might have been cheaper or whatever than Calgary at the time, or my dad had a job offer, whatever it was. High River, Alberta. I didn't speak English. Like I didn't know English. People around me were talking some crazy language because I would just be at home with my immigrant parents and my sister. We all spoke our tribal tongue, which is Nuer. Male, Male, Megwa, Jonathan, anything. malapoindu, like that. That's type of greetings that you sound like, and it's a beautiful language. I'm not gonna lie. I don't speak it anymore, but I remember at one point in my life that was all I knew. So English is a second language for me, and I remember one of the times I was in daycare or whatever, and we were trying to learn. Like I was trying to like communicate with the other students. I just spilt like a whole bunch of sand on the floor, and immigrants, you gotta clean everything, bro. You got even if you didn't do, you gotta clean that shit up, bro. You gotta clean it up. So I go over there, I'm trying to clean it up, but I'm like, yo, where's the broom? We're youths, bro. But I'm like, yo, where's the broom? But I say, how do you say that shit in Norway again? Yitch, what do you call it? I'm just looking at my classmates. I'm saying, yo, yitch, Tedney. They're looking at me like that means where's the broom? They're looking at me like, what are you talking about? Like la 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 la. What are you talking about? I'm like, yitch, Tedney. Like, where's the broom? Where's the yitch? Like where's that at, bro? And he's like, nobody understood me. And so I remember that was a feeling of like isolation when I was a youth. Like kind of like the only one in my class that's kind of like weird. So it kind of closed me off from a lot of other students, and I really had to retreat into my head when I wasn't around people like my cousins who spoke the language, or my young cousins who spoke the language, or my siblings or my parents. Um, and you know how immigrant families are, bro. I was raised, I was abused. I was abused. I won't even cap. I won't even cap. Like, not in a hey man, we not even gonna get into that just because I don't wanna. But hey man, most of us, most people in this world, bro, it's like it's kind of normalized. You just beat your children and shit like that whenever they do something wrong, or when you pissed off or whatever. So that's what I kind of grew up in, that environment of like very strict, um, regulatory system. You know, I think like Jordan Peterson would call that kind of a tyrannical government. Anyways, but yeah, so I don't even care about. I'm about to get into the dynamics with my mother and father, but my father used to beat my mother, bro. He used to beat her senseless, like, and not only her, like he beat all of us, my nigga, in the craziest ways. But he beat my mother, like, bro. It's something that you would never ever dream about ever doing to a woman. I would never put my hands on a woman in that way, to the point where, you sent her to the hospital. You know what I mean? And he was sent her to the hospital, cuts, bruises, you know, cornea ruptures. She didn't even speak English. Um, but in South Sudan, that's just normal. Like somebody gets out of line, your wife is getting out of line, talking crazy. Put your hands on her. You know what I mean? Your kids, you put your hands on them, they don't listen. And I understand why they might have that survival tactic. Is because in South Sudan, it's like you don't really get very far with any type of disrespect. You know, and disrespect can have familial consequences, like life-threatening consequences, like uh, type primitive type of defense tactics is like if somebody stole something, it's like the whole like mob ruled the whole village. This is this stuff my parents told me, but I never went to South Sudan to experience myself. But like you stole something from somebody's house, you stole something from somebody's market stand, you stole something from the store, bruh, people will beat you. People will beat you until you physically cannot move, tie you up, drag you around the town, screaming, thief, 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 labor, labor. I don't remember, but I think that's a word. But it's screaming, thief, thief, so that the whole town knows that you a thief with your sorry bitch at. But yeah, so like it's very serious over there. So I understand like when they come to Canada, they don't know like, bro, there's laws, bro. You can't be doing that shit. But that has, to me, my morally, I don't think that beating a woman ever, as a man, beating a woman, putting your hands on anybody, in a way that's not to defend yourself against like some life threatening issue, I don't think it's right. Like I feel like even as a man, if a woman is threatening my life, I am responsible because how did it get to that level? You know what I mean? Like I had to get to that level somehow, and so yeah, I have this like extreme responsibility type moral type value. I don't know what you would call it, but yeah, he would do that, and then so there's a lot of problems in my household, and a lot of things that I went through in childhood that kind of just built me into the person that I am today. And one of those things was just watching everyone around me get beaten to smithereens for the tiniest mistake, including myself. You know what I mean? And yeah, it wasn't very good. Multiple times I remember police showing up to my home, my childhood home in the hood. I lived in this little hood after we moved out of High River. We lived in some bungalow basement. That's why I developed asthma. But I'm not gonna get into that. I'm just gonna talk about. And then we moved to Shaganapi, and this hood is like, bro, this is where I was made. Like, this is where the real demon was made, brother. This is where I really got on demon time out here. You get me? Let me take another hit. Look, I do not condone vaping indoors. Do not do it. But yeah, so I was raised in the hood, bro. You know, lots of kids always playing outside. This is before like kids had cell phones. Like, I'm pretty sure some people had cell phones, shit, but before kids had cell phones, 2000, 2005, 4, 2006, I don't know, bro. I don't remember my age, but I remember I was old enough to be like, I'm going outside today type shit. So we go outside, you go ring on your friend's house, ask your parents, huh? Kid BK, one of my best friends, BK, Bumquith, and his little brother, Nyayo. His real name, we found out his real name was JK, but we called him Nyayo. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a good name too. It's an endearing name. It's like in Nuer, it's a very endearing term. People use Nyayo, but yeah, that's his name. So I always called him. I had a couple other friends. I don't remember completely. Like, I remember one of my friends. The name was like Satan. Yeah, his name was Satan or some shit. Bro. So I was friends with the devil at a young age. Yo, that nigga was lit though. We go to his house, play video games, but yo, we ride our bikes everywhere. Like, always causing trouble, breaking ourselves, injuring ourselves. Just how young boys do. You know what I mean? And like, when you live in the hood, like, there's not really a lot of parental guidance. There's Karens and shit trying to be like, oh, you can't do that, and la la la, and always trying to get into it and tell your parents what happened and shit like that. But yeah, we was young, wild, and free, bro. Even in school, like, we was kind of bad boys. Oh shit, I gotta stand up and jump again. Hold on, cause the lights go out. Lights go out. There we go. So, yeah, what else was I gonna get into? Growing up in Calgary, home conditions, worldview. My worldview was fucked up from a young age, just because of the type of things that are going on around me. Like, you live in the hood, bro. You hear from a young age, like, bro, you just be sitting around and then boom, gunshots and shit like that. All the older kids, they had like BB guns, if not real guns. Some of my older cousins, they're in the streets type shit. They're moving at work type shit. They got AKs. They got Blicks, brother. You know what I mean? But and it's illegal type shit in Canada, like, very, 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 very regulated. So, if you got a blick in Canada, like, you somebody, especially you use it. But you know, crazy shit that happened, and bullying. You gotta overcome all the circumstances in your environment as a young kid in the hood before you even touch school, bro. Before you even know like what the fuck a bully is, you already dealing with these niggas trying to break a nigga's head in and shit like that. So or getting your head broken in, or trying to get your get back and shit, because niggas trying to take your shit out the playground, trying to play you for pussy. You're not just gonna run to your parent, bro. I had the type parents too, like, bro. I think this is every hood, and every hood, like, family, probably not, but let me know in the comments. But you know what I mean? Like, some shit happened, bro. You can't run to your parents. Your parents will beat you. Your parents will beat you for for playing a pussy, brother. So it's like you gotta get your get back type shit by yourself. And so, young kids, like, raised in the hood, I was just raised to be like, bro, I ain't gonna let up for nothing, bro. I ain't gonna let up for nothing. We starving and shit. We living our welfare and shit like that. So you learn how to survive from a young age, and you're always put into the sorry. You're in your survival. You're in your amygdala. I think that's what it's called, the reptile brain, where you're always thinking about where's the food at, where's the money at, where's this at, where's that at, type shit, and a lot of anger, a lot of pain, but you become desensitized to it going on around you. I remember there's this one person. This is just an example. Probably doesn't make any sense to y'all, but whatever. Y'all let me know. So there was this one person in my neighborhood. His name was like Biggie or some shit. Niggas just call him Biggie, street names and shit like that. He's always at the playground, being a real nigga, playing with us and shit, giving us fucking candy money, bike all the way to the candy store or some shit, or whatever. Just being a good natured dude, but high key, like those niggas that are in the hood type shit. The best dudes, bro, they have to be doing the worst shit. They gotta be doing the worst shit behind the scenes. The most kind-hearted people, bro. Like, life just forces you when you from that down bottom. Like, you can be a reasonable man. I think it's fucking Friedrich Nietzsche. I don't know, bro. One of the philosophers. The reasonable man at times has to act unreasonable. A reasonable man has to do things that are unreasonable. And I'm not saying that this is like he's a reasonable man for what he just did, what I'm about to explain, but I remember, boom, like one day there's just police, cops all over the block and shit like that, and it's like, bro, what happened? Apparently, him and his father, this guy is Sudanese too, him and his father beat his mother and his little sister so hard to the point that the neighbors called the police, and so I think he ended up getting locked up for that type of shit. Excuse me too, bro. I know I'm sniffling and shit. I'm a dirty ass nigga. I'm a dirty ass nigga. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I'm actually very clean, very sanitary. But yeah, and so I'm seeing like all that shit happen. I'm like, yo, this is some craziness, and but it's normalized. You're just living in it. It's normal, bro. People are doing drugs, legal drugs, selling legal drugs, doing illegal activities and shit like that. And you just think like, okay, when I grow up, I'm probably gonna be stuck here, whatever. That's my worldview. So I always had this like type of worldview where it's just survival, bro. You're just trying to get to tomorrow. You're trying to have a good time right now as you can. And I often, even to this day, I still struggle with anger. But I remember, like, sometimes when I was a kid, I was so angry, bro, for the things that were happening to me, for the things that would happen to my friends, for the things that would happen to my distant loved ones, my family, things that are happening in my family, things that are happening in school. So much anger, like, nowhere to put it, bro, And even to this day, it still irks me because bro, children should not have to grow up in that type of lifestyle, in that type of environment, but it happens to this day. It's just society. So, and I'm not a victim either. Like, I don't see myself as a victim, but I gotta bear my cross, if that's fucking being angry every fucking day and shit like that, like, mad about some shit, I'm be mad. I'm gonna let myself feel what I'm feeling until it gets better. You know what I mean? And when it gets better, hey, we gonna know for sure, and y'all gonna know. Hey. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of people in the world too that feel that anger on a daily basis, especially young men, especially young men from the hood, young men in poverty, young men in the struggle. Still, like, bro, it's like, bro, nobody gives a fuck. And it's not news to us either. Like, it's not news to us that nobody cares, bro. You know what I mean? It's not news to us that, like, people really have no type of empathy, or because they will never be able to, like, I was talking to my friend the other day too, like, people will never be able to understand the amount of struggling, the amount of pain, the amount of suffering, the amount of anger, even if you just communicate it to them, because not everything can be verbalized with words. But that's my worldview. But aside from that, I was always very good in school. I always got good grades and things like that. Like, I remember my credit card would come in and it's A's, B's, and C's. You know what I mean? But the thing is that for things like organization, these are things that need to be taught. Like organization, punctuality, all of that other stuff, I'd have S's, bro, like or NS, like non-satisfactory. So the teacher wasn't satisfied, and I'd always get in trouble for that. And I'm thinking like, bro, don't you guys see these grades? Like, bro, look, I got an A here, I got a B here, I got a C here, like whatever. For you perfectionist ass people, fuck y'all, bro. Anyway, so but it's good enough for a kid. That's how I see it, bro. It was good enough for me. And so yeah, so I always did good in school. I always what I loved to do was watch science videos, and actually do science experiments. And they weren't even like proper science experiments, but it just baffled me. I was always into like fantasy and things like that. So I always thought like when I was younger, like, bro, I'm gonna make like a I'm gonna make a medication that you can take that'll allow you to like Naruto, bro. Like, I'm gonna make a medication that'll give you super strength so you can jump from tree to tree. Like, super specific thoughts like that when I was a kid. And I'll be like, I would never drink this shit, bro. Like, I'll mix like Windex and fucking bleach and borax and like, all these chemicals just to see what it did, And I'll go outside, I'll pour it on like plants and like whatever, or the anthill or wasp, all this crazy stuff. I just love science, and that carried with me throughout middle school, throughout high school, math and science. I was just good at it till late high school when I started smoking weed and shit like that. I didn't really give a fuck about school. I was just trying to run away from my problems and shit like that, and manage my anxiety. But yeah, so it was all good, bro. But the abusive situation in my home, bro, it was too crazy. So my mom's like, "Yo, I'm done with this nigga." I think somehow like her father died, bro, and I remember the situation too. He's like, "Yeah, you can go to South Sudan. I'll pay for you or whatever." One day he's like that. He's saying, "Yeah, you can do this." And then so my mom's like all excited, even though she's heartbroken that her father died, and my aunties too, like my uncles, everybody who knew him, they loved him. And then so back in South Sudan, he died. I think lightning hit the crib or whatever, and then he just burned in the house. So then my mom, one day she's trying to get ready to go, and he's like, "Nah, you can't go anymore." And then so I think that was the last straw for my mother. And she's like, I'm not dealing with this nigga anymore. So she moved us all the way to Ottawa, Ontario. And that's where I'm at right now, Ottawa, Ontario. And this city is it's not all bad. You know what I mean? Like, every city has its perks and its downsides, my nigga. It's hella boring. It's a government city. Uh, People are super like they're friendly because it's Canada. They're kind. You know what I mean? But it's not like, bro, it's like any other city, but it's a government city, bro. And we have a large population in Ontario, so it's much bigger than Calgary. Um, but we moved here, and I stayed with my auntie for a summer. And I remember living at my auntie's crib. We were living in the hood. Deborah, we were staying in the hood, and staying with my cousins. I love my cousins to the bottom of my heart. Like, those are really my dogs, bro. My road dogs since day one. Y'all, you don't even know, bro. Like, oh my goodness, man. Like, those are, bro, when I was talking about when I couldn't speak English, bro, those are the people I'll be talking to. Like, and even though they're youths, bro, they're like, they still mumbling and stumbling on their words in our native language, but it's like, bro, this is the best, this is the best conversation I'm gonna get till I learn English. But once I already knew English by the time we moved here, um, by like grade two, but uh, moved here in grade five. Um, Stayed with my auntie for one summer, and once my mom came back from Africa from visiting, we had to go to the shelter because niggas just do not have shit. So we went to the shelter. We went to the family shelter on Forward Avenue. We was living there for a while, and that was a crazy experience within itself, because I never been in this position where it's like, basically they put us in a tiny ass room, kind of like a room like this classroom, bro. And it's like you living in this one room with your whole family, sleeping on bunk beds and shit like that. And at this time, bro, I was still pissing the bed like crazy, brother. I don't have no shame about that shit, bro. Because it's like, it's actually pretty normal. I know like a lot of people that was doing that shit when they were younger. But it's not like I wake up in the middle of the night and like, I don't want to go to a washroom and then piss, bro. Like, nah, it's just, bro, you sleep and you just wake up and you fuck. And hey, bro, since there's a room like this class, since it was a room like this classroom too, bro, you wake up and like everybody's like, what the fuck, la la la, like everybody's cheese, bro. So that's some shit I had to deal with too, bro. Like even when I was younger, like I found out that people, like kids who do that, who wet the bed, is because they already been through some traumatizing situation where they couldn't even like, they just lost touch with their body and shit like that. So like I'll be like, well, I'll wake up when we live with my pops. Some days it's like they're supportive, they'll buy me shit to like help me or whatever. But then other days it's like, bro, they get on my ass, embarrassing me, using it as an excuse to abuse the shit out of me. You know what I mean? And but what my parents didn't know is that that was probably caused by them. And it's a lot of easy fixes too. Like you could have just put fucking sheet on the thing. You could have gave me a diaper. You could have did some shit. But nah, they rather beat the shit out of you. So anyways, yeah. But I stopped pissing the bed, bro. I'm happy. That was a while ago. That one day, that one whole week, I'm like, what the fuck, bro? I'll be waking up every single day dry as hell, drier than a motherfucker. Yeah, that was a good memory, my nigga. After we moved, and I started going to grade like 7. That's when it was like it really just stopped. I think it's hormones or whatever. The puberty starts kicking in and shit like that. The lightest testosterone in my body. Um, but yeah, I was still good at science, bro. I still like I always was making friends. I always had good friends around me. I always, even especially middle school, bro. Middle school, I was friends with like all the girls, bro. All the girls, like all the girls, bro. There's some girls that hated me and shit like that. Everywhere, bro. Everywhere you go, there's always gonna be the bitch that hate you. I don't know why, but I was friends with all the girls, bro. And I still had a lot of male friends, but it's like, bro, I was so like, yo, let me, Anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so yeah, I was always around the shorties and shit like that, and it's normal for me too because I had 4 sisters, and I'm living with my mother. There's no males around me. So it's like it's so much easier for me to connect with a female because I just know how to do it way better. Well, actually, that's a lie because I still know how to connect with males. But it was very like it was a new experience having females that were my friends that were not my family. Cause now I can really be real, you know what I mean, and go off type shit. So, anyways, so yeah, and then I remember like grade 8, people just started trying to be like, oh, nah, you gay, you always hang out with the girls. I know because they jealous ass, bitch ass niggas, brother. Oh, you always hang out with the girls and la la la. You gay and you this and you that and like. I decided I'm like, okay, you know what? Fuck that shit, bro. These niggas tweaking on me. I'm just gonna start hanging with my homie, bro. One of my homies, T6, bro. T6 from he's like one of the first houses that we came to in Ottawa, and actually like him and my dad were friends in Calgary, so they know each other and we know each other like since young type shit. Our family had good relationships, so when we came here, like their family welcomed us with open arms and things like that, and we went to their house, and I remember I met T6, and this guy's like just we go to a basement, we're on a computer, and this guy starts playing like showing me his favorite like hip hop songs and things like that. So we just clicked, bro. And I seen him in high school and middle school. So I'm like, yo, whatever. I'm a chill with this guy. After I stopped chilling with the shorties, bro, and I don't know what the fuck they thought about that. I don't even talk to them anymore. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna get into that later. Never mind. So, but yeah, and we just start hanging with the boys, bro. And now we just doing boy shit, like we just playing sports. I was never really one to really play sports and shit like that. I always love to just like go to church and shit like that, and, like sing, uh, dance, not like professional dancing. Even though I did get into the play, uh, my school play, I got a lead character my first year there. We did like High School Musical 3 or something. But I don't even know when we did High School Musical 2, bro. It was just High School Musical 3. So I was doing that shit after school. While I was going to church, like youth group and shit like that. And I really have a love for God. It's a big part of my value system is Christianity. It's built on Christian values. Even though I'm not the perfect Christian, I don't believe there's a perfect such thing as a perfect Christian ever. But, most of us who were raised in the church, we have pretty strong Christian interjects in our head, like what would Jesus do? Am I treating my neighbor how I would treat myself and things like that? So am I being loving? So yeah, those are the things that I took part in. And we also didn't have a lot of money at home, so it's like I would never have the money to do sports. Like even if I wanted to, I remember asking my mother like, "Yo, like this summer is really boring. I want to get into baseball." Because one of my friends, KG, he was doing baseball. I'm like, "Yo, mom, like, here, can you do this?" And she's like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna do it." And this shit never got done anyways. She's not a bad person, bro. She's not a bad person. It's just, bro, too much stress, too much responsibility. So whatever, I got neglected on that. But I was taken care of. But yeah, so I never got into sports and like all that other shit. But I did get still do a lot of hood rat shit with my friends and shit like that. So, and I had a lot of friends too, a lot of male friends, a lot of female friends, a lot of just the boys, and I can hang out with anybody. And then I think it was summer of grade 9. That's when I started, like, I really got introduced to weed, smoking, and doing drugs, brother, and drinking, brother. And I know a lot of people are like, why such the late start? Bro, the late start is because in an African household, brother, people find out that you be doing that shit. Mm-mm. Your life is over. You might as well just go die in a ditch, because it's like nobody is gonna rock with you. Nobody's trying to have you around any type of anybody, bro, because it's like you a bad influence, you a sinner, you a this. It's so judgmental for a Christian household. I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, we not gonna get into that part yet. Um, but yeah, I started smoking weed, and I remember like I would start linking all these other, like my other friends who smoke weed, and we would go smoke weed, and like one of my homies, he had like his parents were chill as fuck. One of my white homies, I think he's half white, half Asian or something. And me, my homie Lando and shit like that, we would go there. Hold on, lights turned off again. Fuck. I be talking long, but fuck it, bro. Life is not that short. It's not that short. So yeah, so we would go in there and we would hot box his bathroom and shit like that, and go sit around and laugh and giggle and cackle and shit like that after school, as much times as we can do it. Cause niggas were broke too. Like I didn't have no money till I got a job in grade 11. I had no money. Like I had to ask my mom for all that money, and there wasn't even a lot of money going in circulation around my family, big family. So it's like if I ever had a need, I would have to weigh my needs compared to the people around me, and it's like sometimes like you see things like people don't even want to communicate their needs because they know that their needs are gonna go unmet regardless. Um, Not because of any ill effort from my parents. It's just like, bro, we just don't live like we don't live in a household that was privileged enough to provide a super cushiony, comfy life. You know what I mean? That's even my sisters, bro. I have a lot of respect for them because they real G's, bro. Like niggas was raised in the fucking jungle together, type shit. They're not. A lot of my sisters, they're not like these other females out here. Like they're like them. Like obviously they're female, but the environment, the upbringing, they real like gangster, bro. You're not gonna play with any of them, bro. So yeah, so we just started smoking weed and shit like that, and talking about life, and really going into like shit. Like I was really into SoundCloud rap and making beats. Once I got to grade 9, I downloaded this dog called LMMS, and I started to learn how to use it on YouTube. I just go home and play with it after school and shit like that, and see if I can make some shit. And I started really making really good beats. I'm not gonna lie, for what I knew and where I started from. It sounded good to me. But I was really into SoundCloud rap, like niggas like Smoke Perp, Lil Pump, Uno the Activist, Playboy Cardi, what else? Lil Peep, bro, Lil Tracy, man. I was a fucking real goth boy clique, brother. You know what I mean? I'm real goth boy clique. Who know about, yo, leave that in the comments too, goth boy clique. If bro, if you know, you know. You know what I mean? And I was also really into like indie music, independent music, all of that stuff, like alternative rock, like beach house. What else? Like Hibu, And bro, even like Claro, y'all, you guys listen to, y'all know about Claro, bro. I was on her YouTube page when she had like 2K views. So original fan, you know what I mean? Original fan. You know, when she was still in her bedroom trying to make those bops, bro, making those use, hey, bro, on her MacBook, hey, yo, y'all don't know about that one. So yeah, so I was really like, I was into that type of thing. I'm like, yo, I could do this too. I could rap too. I could do all of this too. So I recorded my first song using my Apple earphones on my sister's laptop. On my older sister's laptop. I downloaded Audacity, the most shit thing. It's not actually shit. It's just like I was shit at using it because I wasn't trying to stir nothing up. Wasn't trying to learn anything young. So I just downloaded the beat, recorded my vocals with a shitty mic. Kind of like this one. Hey. And turned the shit extra loud as I could and just try to figure it out and shit like that. So I figured it out, put those songs out on SoundCloud. I think one of them is still up there, but there's two, and one of them's private. But yeah, I was like, yo, I could do this shit, and I really had dreams of like, bro, I want to be a rock star. Even from a young age, bro. Like I remember in not daycare, fucking kindergarten and preschool, bro, they had guitars and shit, and everybody knew me. I'm on the music days and shit like that, cause you know how they had the music days, bro. On the music day, bro, I'm grabbing the guitar, the ukulele, and I'm putting on the fucking long ass blonde wig, brother. I'm shaking. There's a photo of me. I don't know where that photo went, bro. But I'm shaking my hair like this, bro. I love AC/DC and shit like that. Like when I was a young person, country music, like young kid, bro. All of that shit. Like I didn't really get to hip hop until I got to Ottawa. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I was living in the shelter, that's when I really took the dive, listening to Drake and shit. That's how I started. But then it went down into the underground. I won't lie, underground rap scene. But yeah, I really want to be a rock star. So now I'm seeing these niggas from SoundCloud, from YouTube, go from nothing to something like the biggest thing in the earth. So I'm thinking like, bro, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this shit seriously. If I can't even sell beats, bro, at least I could rap and shit like that. So I'm like listening to beats and shit like that, Metro Boomin, all of this crazy stuff, like trying to find type beats and Future, and like, you know, I'm going off, and me and my homies too, like we freestyling and things like that. So like I always like I had this deep love for music, this deep passion for music that's so deep rooted in my childhood, where it became a passion, and now I just take it serious. Like I don't really be the best at it and shit like that, but I know I'm way better than I used to be just because that passion really drove me forward. What else was I gonna talk about? Hold on, I think I might be getting off topic. Yeah, so I remember. Let me get into this thing at shelter because I missed that. But when I lived in the shelter, bro, it's like I remember my dad called my mom for the first time in fucking forever, like all that summer, because he didn't call her. He's mad, you know. This bitch didn't listen to me. Like that's probably what he thinking, you know. She didn't listen, and he's abusive too. So you know how niggas be like. Those niggas be fucking delusional. You know, beat the shit out of you, beat the lights out of people, and then try to act like they the ones that are being oppressed, whatever. So, he calling her, he arguing with her and shit like that. And she's like, they're just having a whole argument, and it's a room like this, like it's like classroom, so we can all, me and my siblings, we all listen to that, and he's talking about, oh yeah, okay, whatever, I'm never gonna whatever. I don't know the whole full conversation. I remember some parts of it. Then I remember I was like, I just started crying, bro, because my mom's like telling us like, yo, we not going back to Calgary, bro. You know, I'm not seeing your dad again. Like we done. I'm done with that guy. And then I remember crying, bro, and she's like, I remember this day. One day she looked at me. She's like, why you crying? Why you crying, bro? Like she's looking at me with evil eyes, brother. Like, why you crying? And I'm like, oh, you know, I miss my pops. And the reason why I miss my pops isn't because I did approved of all the things he was doing to my mother. Just because of my pops, bro. I'm a kid. Like, that nigga still, even though he was horrible and shit like that, beating the shit out of like, knocking the lights out of niggas and shit like that. I'm not okay. Yo, that nigga was crazy. But, knocking the lights out of niggas is like, you're still a kid type shit. So it's like, it's easy to be like, I still love my parents, even though they treat you worse than any human being on the earth type shit. So, yeah, I was crying and shit like that, emotional. And I remember that day, I'm like, okay, you know what, fuck that shit, bro. And I also remember, like, eventually that led to a lot of resentment and shit like that from my pops. And I still have, like, a lot of anger from that, but it's not, like, as deep as it is because I'm a full-grown man now. I don't give a fuck about whatever fuck another man does, bro. If anything, if I see that nigga, I'm packing him for all the shit he did to me. But anyway, so uh, no, I do not condone murder, bro. Chill, chill. I'm just joking. It's a joke. It's a little bit out there. You know how the trauma jokes get. It's a little bit over the cliff of sanity. You know, the sanity is an illusion. It's a math, but we not gonna get into that either today. So, yeah, bro. Yeah, so that was traumatic for me, and I remember it fucked up my relationship with my deuce and shit like that from that day forward. But we not gonna get into that either. So, but yeah, so I grew up out of that, and then once it got to high school, around grade 11 is where you start choosing like, what do I want to do in my life? And I'm already good at the sciences. I'm taking these science courses, and like I love it, but I'm horrible at it because I'm not focused on school anymore, brother. We just out here smoking weed and shit like that, and like living for the weekend and extracurricular activities and looking for shorties and trying to chase panties and like, bro, we just going off like young G's, brother. We young G's from the province, from the state, brother. You know what I mean? From the hood. So, bro, like I just accepted my personality. Like fuck school, bro. All right, I love music too much. I'm just gonna do this shit. I'm gonna take this seriously, and everything else that happens, I'm gonna try. But if it ain't work out, shit, it don't work out. You know what I mean? And then so my mom really putting the pressure on me. If you don't go to college, uh, you cannot go to college. Like if you want to not go to college, you can do that, but you're not gonna do that here. Like you not staying with me, type shit. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Like I'm trying to, I'm really testing her bluff and things like that. Cause I'm like, yo, like nobody's gonna tell me what to do, man. I'm the nigga. I'm that nigga. Like I'm big dog. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm like, yo, bro, people be capping on my name and shit like that. So I'm like, yo, I'm not doing none of that. Hold on. It's very. It might seem like I'm moving all over the place, but all I'm trying to do is give y'all like an overview about like who the fuck I am, what I came from. That's not what I came from. Isn't who I am, but it's part of myself. So I need to make that clear to y'all. And then so after I got out of high school, I had like shit grades, and I didn't get into anything except for like some college out in fucking North Bay, or not North Bay, fucking Nipissing. That's what it's called, like Nipissing University. And they're like, oh yeah, we got a golf free. I'm like, yo, I'm not taking that shit, bro. So I'm not like the top level student, bro, but I was smart enough to pass and get accepted into a course. It was just the question of, do I want to move all the way out there when I don't even have enough support here? Do I want to move all the way out there to a small ass little ass town in the middle of fuck all? You know what I mean? And study, I think it was environmental science. I'm like, nah, bro, fuck that shit, bro. So I didn't go. I didn't accept the offer. I really wanted to get into a university that was in the city, so I went to Idaho High School after that, and I was working a job too. I quit my job because I felt like it was also a thing that was taking a lot of time out of my school and my studies, and I tried to hunker down. So I went to Idaho High School and I took some courses. I was there for like 2 semesters. I only really needed to be there for one. I got accepted into Carleton for a course, and then second semester I fucked it up. I fucked it up. Y'all know how the second semester go, bro. High school and shit like that. Bro, it's like, and COVID just hit. So I'm like, yo, fuck that shit. If I'm going to go to school, I'm going to go to school later. If I'm going to go to Carleton, I'm going to go to Carleton later. If I need these courses, one more high school course, higher grade, redo it, I'm going to do it later. Right now it's COVID times. I need money. I need security. I need do something for myself, Maybe I can take advantage of some opportunities that are around me, that type of stuff. So I did all of that, and I was still like doing all this shit, like smoking weed, linking all my friends and shit like that, and harass shit, drinking. And I didn't tell anybody, bro. I was doing this shit, bro. People knew. My mom didn't though. My mom knew, but she never like confronted me, type shit. And then really later on into the COVID times, when everybody really started going crazy inside, like that's when I really became the target of my mother's fury, my mother's trauma and shit like that. And so she really tried to like lay it on to me heavy. Where you going? Where you coming from? Why you coming home at this time? Trying to like control me and shit like that, bro. But I'm a nigga, bro. Even from birth, bro, I could not be controlled. I remember, bro, even when I was a little ass kid living in Calgary, bro, I'm still arguing with my deuce. I'm still arguing with my pops, like, bro. Nobody's telling me what the fuck to do forever. You know, like, what's I gonna do for me? That's how I always seen it. Like, so even though you should listen to your parents when they're trying to really better you and shit like that. So yeah, I did all that. My mom was going off on me and shit like that, and then she discovered I smoked weed like last summer. Last summer, just kicked me out the house. Boom, get out of here. Boom, you know. And so I left. I left the house, and I was in a period of my life where I was like, "Fuck, I really need to tighten up. I need to get something going." And that brings me here today. You know, I live with a roommate. I work in a for a small construction company, and yeah, I'm just grinding on my free time between projects, between all these other things. There's kind of a little bit of company stuff going on in the back of the house, but I'm not gonna tell y'all that shit. Uh, but yeah, bro, it's like you gotta take responsibility. But I'm giving y'all all that information to now get into these points that I had, these conclusions that I came to, you know, about my life. And the first point that I have right here is the struggle. The struggle. The struggle builds you as a person, even the negative aspects of you. And y'all can already, if you're doing like a whole like psychoanalysis of me right now, good on you, good job. But all the negative parts that you see, all the places that my mind can go, and all the mistakes that I've made, your perceived mistakes, my perceived mistakes that I made in my life, I own them. But I also recognize that it had the things that I went through from a young age until now, recently, have a large effect on my personality. They have a large effect on my self-concept. They have a large effect on my manhood. They have a large effect on the people around me, and they have a large effect on the negative aspects of me. Now, what's an example of that? Maybe smoking weed. Like, bro, like, I know some people that are potheads, like, y'all just smoke, and y'all smoke for no fucking reason at all. You know, like, y'all just smoke because you just junkies, like, bro. People just be junkies out here, like, y'all just love drugs, you know? But me, most of the time, I find, like, when I'm taking drugs or smoking or drinking, like, it's gonna be to a different degree each time, depending on how fucking horrible I feel. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna be real about that, because that's what I want to do on this podcast, is be real with everybody. You know what I mean? Because that's how you guys are gonna get any type of self growth, and that's how I'm gonna see any type of self growth, is like by being real with myself. So when I'm taking that shit, when I'm doing crazy things or acting out of my neck, talking out the side of my neck, or acting strange, acting crazy, how other people perceive maybe crazy, making crazy life decisions, it's because of the things that I've already seen in life, because of the environment that I was raised in, because of the things that happened to me from a young age up till now, and the way that I perceive those things to be occurring to me. Now, I do not condone victimhood, right? Even though sometimes you might feel like a victim, sometimes you might actually be a victim. You might actually be a victim to your circumstance, to society, to your surroundings, to a product of your environment. But in reality, I realized that as a man, you gotta be a product of your own internal environment, not the external environment. And I can get into that on a different episode. But again, right, everybody has blind spots. That's why I was talking about y'all be better, you know, if you analyzing me right now, or, you know, judging me right now, like, y'all judging me based on some shit that could be a blind spot to me too. Maybe I'm swearing too much. Maybe I'm too laid back. Maybe I'm talking too fast. Maybe I'm giving you indicators, red flags about my personality, right? Just because I'm being real with y'all and shit like that. But some of these things I know, and some of these things I don't give a fuck to know. And even if somebody probably brought it to my attention, hey, bro, you know, that's not really right. That's not the right way to move. That's not the right way to act. I probably like wouldn't care, and if I do care, it's gonna be extremely strenuous and take a lot of effort for me to fix. So everybody has blind spots, even you. Like if everybody was able to get onto a microphone and just talk about their life, no matter how it made them feel and their mental state, no matter how it made them feel, and be real about things that they've done in the past or the thoughts that they've had in the past and things that have happened to them, you would I would probably even be able to judge that person too. Now I don't give a fuck about whatever other people been through. Like I have empathy and shit like that, but I'm not gonna like sit here like, oh you shouldn't be doing this, bro. I'm not that person. You know what I mean? But what I do know, again, and here's another point: nobody is able to choose how they are affected, but they can choose how to proceed. Right? So you have the choice on how you're gonna proceed throughout life. Now, it might not be this crazy God amount of strength to get things done and to be self efficacious, but you have tiny choices. Am I gonna brush my teeth today? Am I gonna take a shower today? What type of food am I gonna? Oh, hold on, the lights went out again. Back on. What type of food am I gonna be eating? You know what I mean? On a daily basis. What type of uh, products am I gonna buy for my body? What type of clothes am I gonna wear? Like, how am I gonna speak to people when I see them? How am I gonna um, communicate my needs and my wants? All these things, like you have the power to change the way that you interact with the world after these things happen to you, but you don't have the power to stop these things from happening to you, especially as a young child. Like, you don't have the power to just, like, you're not gonna pull $1 million out your ass and take your family out the gutter, even though some people are delusional enough to think that. And all you can do is validate your own thoughts about what happened, what you feel, and how you feel about yourself. So in reality, when you're raised in any type of environment, there's a lot of things. There's the self, right? You have the self where you're always like looking on its inside and trying to figure out, what do I think about right now? What do I want to think about the future? What do I want to think about religion and all these lifestyle choices and values and things like that, right? These thoughts can be randomly generated. You can be inserting them into your head through education, through peers, talking to people around you, through YouTube, through, school, through your parents, through your siblings, all of these thoughts, and they just show up in your head. But it's you at the end of the day who chooses which ones you're going to validate. And what I mean by validate is, I know a lot of people that talk badly about themselves. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. But it's because they don't recognize, like, they'll say to something like that, like, oh my gosh, I'm so stupid, or I'm the worst person on this earth, or I can't fucking do anything right, and they'll be talking to themselves like that. The reason why they feel that way isn't because it's a bad thing to think. It's not a bad thing to think those thoughts. They just thoughts, they just exist. But what they did is that they let it go from internal, right? And not shutting it down, being like, no, I actually don't believe that. I will not treat myself. I will not talk to myself that way. They let that fester in their brain until now it's like it's an outward thing. They'll say it outwards, and they actually internalize it because other people might have been telling them that their whole life, or they just been telling themselves that their whole life, and then now, they never shut it down, and so that's the validation. They be validating that their whole life, that thought about themselves. And this is what I think where limiting beliefs come from too, because it's like, you have limiting beliefs about yourself. I can never do this. I can never do that. I can never be this person. I can never be that person. Nobody's ever going to love me. I'm never going to be able to whatever, right? All of that is, they're just thoughts, but you're the one that's like, yeah, you're right. Like, you're talking to yourself in your head and you're telling yourself, yeah, you're right about some negative ass shit, bro. So like, you have the power to validate it. What you feel, like what you think, what you feel, and how you feel about yourself. So what you feel is like, bro, say like you're in a situation where it's stressful, right? and you sitting there and you're like, damn, like what am I gonna do, bro? Like la la la, like how do you feel? Like how do you feel? Do you feel stressed? Are you gonna tell yourself, yo, I'm so stressed out, like I've never been this stressed in my life and la la la. Like you could be honest about how you feel in that moment, right? But the thing is that what people do is that when you validate it, some people validate an overblown perception of how they feel. You know what I mean? So you might be heartbroken, but are you heartbroken to the point where now you're gonna lead yourself on a path of self-destruction, or are you heartbroken, but and telling yourself everything's going to be all right because my heart is going to heal? You know, I'm gonna bounce back from this situation. I'm heartbroken, but it doesn't hurt that bad. It hurts, but it doesn't hurt that bad. Same thing, like it's like two people stub their toe, right, on something. Boom, first person, boom, ah, and starts crying and rolling and screaming and calling the police and calling everybody around them and this all made the most pain I never made, and tweaking, bro, all out tweaking because they stubbed their toe, right? But then another person who knows how to validate how they feel without overblowing how they feel might stub their toe and go, oh. And me, I'm that type of nigga too. Like I feel pain. Oh, I love it. I love it. Again, I might be sadistic, but I'm not. But but it's like it's two different. It's two different feelings, but it's the same feeling. You know what I mean? Okay, and now we're just gonna move on, and then what you feel about yourself. How do you feel about yourself? Again, it goes back to what I was saying before. That person that has limited beliefs about themselves or a negative perspective on everything that they do and everything that they try to achieve for themselves, or everything that they try to do for themselves, right? That person, how do they feel about themselves, right? They validate that every single day based on how they feel about themselves. They validate that. They say, yes, that's actually the truth. That's the truth that I'm worthless. It's the truth that I'm never gonna amount to anything. It's the truth that I'm a bad person based on these other people that are calling me a bad person or have a perception of me that might be negative. It's the truth that I'm very lonely and I'm meant to die alone. It's the truth that I'm very ugly. It's the truth that I'm very disgusting. I'm very all it like nah. Like you gotta be able to be like, that's not the truth. You have to make a choice for yourself in your life when you have a negative thought about yourself that is demeaning, sadistic almost. Like those are sadistics. Those thoughts can destroy you, you know, over time. Like just constantly thinking in that way. You have to be able to validate it or unvalidate it and be like, that's not true. I'm not going to think about myself like that, you know? You can have the thought, but I'm not going to continue to allow that thought to come into my head without any type of opposition. You know what I mean? And that's something that helped me when I was in the lowest moments of my life, where it's like, bro, I really be thinking like, yo, EBK, like, bro, these people are tweaking out here on me, thinking they can get away with all of this. They're done. Everything dead, everything K. Like I'm, you know, but I gotta limit myself and my actions, not because I'm a coward, because I can easily just let off steam. Like I would love. And I always tell this to my friends, like, bro, I would love to just run into a situation where uh, um, I can rightfully diffuse my anger onto someone else. But there's no situation in my head that's that I can do that, because I have a whole bunch of guardrails in place. Did this person do something to me legally that is not right? Is this person threatening my life legally? Am I able to take action? You know what I mean? And I had situations in high school, right, where people got me angry and we get into fights and shit like that. Good fights too. Like I love to fight. I love to break people and shit like that. But I don't do it anymore because I'm an adult. I'm a man. There's no reason to even give you the validation of getting me angry anymore. And if you do get me angry, it's like it's clipped. But it's not clipped in a way that these niggas be talking like, oh, I'm gonna spin out. Nah, bro. I'm just, hey, bro, we done. I'm not interacting with you. We not talking. I'm not even gonna look at you type shit. So But you gotta be able to validate how you feel about yourself, when you're really down and you feel like, oh, I just messed everything up. Like, are you worthless now just because you messed everything up? Or do you still have value because you're alive? Because you're making choices? Can you self reflect? Like, those are the things that are important to your life, like to be able to be your best friend, to be your best caregiver, And I think what I'm trying to do with this podcast is really just open up people's brains to the psychology of going through life and struggling and being a man. You know what I mean? And not only being a man, but just being somebody who's self-efficacious. Even though if people do not see me as someone who is self-efficacious, and if you see me that way, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and just make fun of me in the comments. Even though, because I don't care, bro. It's not gonna hurt me anyway. So, but yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to do on this podcast and share tips that help me, right? But we getting into this masculinity type shit is like, bro, as a masculine, as a man, you know what I mean? You can't let anybody have the final say on your life unless it's you. You can't have anybody have the final say on your circumstances unless it's you. And when you do, you take full responsibility regardless. Don't do this because your mama told you to do it, your daddy told you to do it, your friends told you to do it, and then walk away from that situation saying, well, everybody told me to do it. Everybody told me to do it. You can't do that, bro. You got to be like, nah, even though this happened, I had an influence, I take full responsibility for that decision. Even if it's a bad decision, even if it's a worst decision you ever made in your life, I take full responsibility for that decision. I will not think about myself in a negative way just due to that one choice. I will continue to thrive, to strive, to work hard, to continue to improve myself, to continue to value my own time, my attention, my respect, my honor, to defend my name, to go on offense when I'm trying to get to the loop, when I'm trying to get to the bag, you know what I mean? Like, y'all, these are automatic thoughts of a masculine man, somebody who does not care or conform to society and their expectations. And once you get that type of mindset, right, it opens you up to a whole new world of freedom because I'm free within my own skin. I do not have any type of fear of anything going left and that's the thing about growing up. That's why I brought up my childhood, is because you can see how much control I had over nothing and how much control I might still have over nothing. But what I do have control over is being in my own skin. And once you develop that perspective that, wow, like nothing can really destroy me more than I can destroy myself, and nothing can really build me more than I can build myself, life becomes freedom. Everything that you do becomes freedom because nothing is restraining you from doing anything except for you and your choice and your word. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's a little bit about me. I'm gonna continue to make these podcasts. I'm probably gonna wrap it up because I know it's been a long time. This shit at 1,009 bars, bro. But thank you for tuning in, bro. Getting to know a little bit about me. I'm gonna try to do these weekly, and I'm gonna make gonna brainstorm my next podcast idea. I might even bring some friends on here. If you fuck with me, whatever, you like these talks that I had and getting into my lifestyle and analyzing my own psychology from my own blind spots and shit like that too, involved. Just subscribe, like y'all already know what the fuck to do, bro. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, bro. This is LUV LUX coming back to you soon, bro. Stay blessed.